Hello. This is the next lesson of algebra section. In this lesson, we will discuss quadratic equations. First, I will explain you the definition. I will explain you what is a quadratic equation. Then after that, I will explain you the difference between linear equation and quadratic equation. And then we will discuss different methods to solve a quadratic equation. So let's start with the definition. An equation with variable power 2 is called quadratic equation. So now what is variable and what is power? I have explained you this in the previous lessons as well. Here we will define it once more. You can see an equation. This is now a sample quadratic equation. So in this case, x is the variable. This x is also the variable. And that power, you can see the top, this number, this is called power. Now, you can see the maximum power of this variable is 2. So when the maximum power of the variable is 2, we call that a quadratic equation. On other hand, if I give you the example of linear equation, so this is a linear equation, x minus 5 equal, let's assume 2. This is a linear equation. How? Why this is a linear equation, or why we call this a linear equation? Because the variable, this is the variable, and the power is 1. So when the power is 1, we call that linear equation. It is not necessarily to be like this. It could also be like this: 2x minus 5 equal 48. It could be anything, but we need to see the power. So the power is 1, so therefore we call this linear equation. And in that case, the power is 2. It is square. So when the power is 2, that is called a quadratic equation. We have already discussed linear equations and its solution in the previous lessons. We have learned how to solve linear equation. Okay, so for example, this is a sample of an example of quadratic equation. This is another example. X squared plus 7x plus 20 equals 0 is another quadratic equation. Now, there is a standard form. So the standard form is that the first term must be x squared term. Okay, this is a standard form journal equation. So this is journal equation, and the first term must be x squared term, the next term must be x term, and the third term be the constant c. For example, you can see in this one, the first one is the x squared term, the second one is the x term, and the third one is number, a constant. So first would be x square, and then would be x, and then would be c. So you must write the equation in the standard form before solving that. So first you will write the equation in the standard form, and after that then you will then solve that. So there are three methods. Solution of quadratic equation. Now, how to solve this quadratic equation? So quadratic equations can be solved by three methods. The first one is called factorization method. The second method is quadratic formula method. And the third one is completing square method. So you will study these one by one in the next 3 lessons. In the first lesson, I will explain you factorization method. Then in the next one, we will study quadratic formula and then completing square. Now, what does this solution mean? You can see in that word, solve, a solution. What does it mean? So solution means to find the unknown variables in the equation. For instance, this is an equation. This is an example. X squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. This is a quadratic equation. So Why this is a quadratic equation? Because the variable power is 2. So therefore we call this a quadratic equation. Now this x is variable, and this is an unknown. This x and that x is unknown. These are unknown. So therefore we will find out x. To find out x, so this is what we mean by solution. Solution mean find out the unknown variable. In simple words, find out x. Okay, we have already discussed linear equation, solution of linear equation. For example, a linear equation is given x minus 5 equal 8. So again, solution mean solve, find x. So this is very easy to find out x. We will shift this 5 to the other side and we got that. So x, so this 5 is negative 5. When we shift it to the other side, it will become plus 5. So 8 plus 5 is 13 and we got that x is equal to 13. 13 is equal to x. It means x is 13. Okay. So it means we got, have found x. We got the value of x. We solved the question for x. But we cannot apply this method. Like this is a simple method just to take the numbers to the other side, leave the variables on another side, and you will get that. But in this case, let's assume this equation. I will assume this question here, x square minus 5x plus 6. Now let's try the linear method to shift the numbers to the other side and keep the variable on the one side. Let's try that on quadratic equation and see whether it will work or not. So this is a constant number. So let's move this constant number to the other side. On the other side, this is equality, 0. So x square minus 5x equal negative 6. Okay, it was positive 6 here. When we shift it to the other side, it will become negative 6. Now we have x square, we have x. Now there is an issue. If I shift this 5x to the other side, let's say, so x square, it would become negative 6 plus 5x. Now how I will find x? Because one x is here, the other one is there. And we cannot add them, we cannot subtract them, we cannot multiply them, we cannot simplify it further. So therefore, linear equation method, which we have applied here, cannot be applied on quadratic equations. So therefore, there are separate methods. These are separate and different methods to solve a quadratic equation. So the first one would be factorization method. Second one is quadratic formula method. And the third one is the completing square method. So we will study these one by one. Okay, thank you.